All right, joining me once again here on the Matthew Filipowicz Show is my friend Candice Bernd. Candice is a journalist and assistant editor at Truthout, which you can find at truth-out.org. You can follow her on Twitter at Candice Bernd. Candice, thank you so much for being on the show again.
Hey, Matthew. Thanks so much for having me back on.
All right, so Candice, last time you were on the show a couple months ago, we actually talked about how the town where you live in Texas, Denton, Texas, passed a bill banning fracking within the city limits. And there actually are some updates to that story and what's going on right now, which currently you're in Austin, Texas about that. So tell us what's going on.
All right, Matthew. So a bunch has happened since that vote came down and we passed Texas' very first ban on fracking. Which turned a lot of heads, being that we're in Texas and we're kind of in the heart of the oil and gas empire here. So since that has happened, the oil and gas empire and their bought and paid for legislators here in the Capitol in Austin, where I'm at now, have really, are trying every kind of avenue they can to defeat this ban and prevent other cities from following in our footsteps, which other cities in Texas are following our lead. Basically, that's happened on three fronts. The Texas Oil and Gas Association has instituted a lawsuit that we are fighting. And Factory Denton has intervened in that lawsuit as a party. So that's a really good thing because should anyone decide to drop out, we can continue basically being a party to that lawsuit. So that's good. We're intervening, and we're kind of doing all we can on the legal fight there. But also simultaneously, as that has happened, we've seen a number of very conservative legislators here in Austin introduce bills which basically look to gut local control laws. So one thing that has been very fundamental, especially to Texas, is it's had a long history of what is called home rule laws, which basically gives municipalities like Denton the power to pass things like a fracking ban, like we did, the power to initiate, citizens' referenda and allow the citizens of a municipality to kind of be able to control their own destiny and author the regulations on certain industries that we want to. So that has been a long-running thing, and there are other cities in Texas that, for instance, have passed like a ban on plastic bags. So, obviously Denton's fracking ban is really the major reason behind why they're trying to gut these laws now, because they're looking at this and they're saying, we really don't want other municipalities to do this. We really want to keep it so that, the state controls the fracking regulations. And this is one of the most hypocritical things that we've all seen because, these are the same legislators who every chance they get will rail against Washington and, Washington kind of dictating to us what we should do. And they have this Texas maverick kind of, rugged individualism kind of myth that they like to perpetuate. But then at the same time, Austin is slapping the big hand of government on the municipalities like Denton, telling us that, we need to follow their rules. So it's very hypocritical. And I think a key component of this is Phil King has authored a bill that is trying to gut local control. And Phil King is the national chief of ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council. So, this is very much part of a conservative agenda nationally. And I think it will spread beyond Texas, that this is a strategy that ALEC is looking to, institute in other states. And we know this because ALEC has a new arm called ACE, the American City County Exchange, which I reported on, I think, few months back. But this is very much part of a bigger conservative strategy here to keep municipalities from banning fracking or really instituting these blows against the conservative agenda.
Well, so of the bills that are currently being considered, obviously, it changes the overall big rule for this. So would it also, I guess it would probably, I'm sure the wording would have it be retroactively switching the what happened in Denton. It wouldn't just be like, is it, because the thing is if you do that precedent, it actually does, it would probably, could have a lot of kind of a chain reaction on a lot of things.
Right.
So how do you know how actually, have we seen how these bills are actually worded? Like what is the actual structure of them?
Right. Yeah. There's 4 different ones, and they all kind of have different things going on in them. Some are looking to just gut like home rule entirely, so that just no city has that power anymore. Others are very specific. You know, there's some bills that say no municipality can specifically ban fracking, which we know, is directly coming from what happened in Denton. Others are looking at if a city wants to ban fracking, that they have to look at the supposed impact on taxes and revenue and things like that, and they have to kind of get that authorized. Some are specific in that way, but again, it's a backlash coming from what happened in Denton. Some of them are different. And actually, this is interesting because I think that there are some Republicans now who have come out against the bills that are looking to kind of wholesale throw away local control and saying, actually, we really need this because we have some conservative agenda items that we want to get passed, and that would take away our ability to pass that stuff. So actually, I forgot to mention this, but I am actually here in the state capitol because I am with a crew of not just Dentonites, but folks from Palast, Grand Prairie, Arlington, Mansfield, and Fort Worth. And they are lobbying legislators today to try to tell them, hey, please don't take away local control. This is our story. These are our stories. And kind of telling them what it's like to live next to fracking and why it came to be in the position that it was in. So, very strongly trying to fight that back today.